So, the Adult Education Act, I suppose you would say, it's supposed to be called Sex Education Act, but I'm going to call it Adult Education Act in national schools and secondary schools. It seems like, the Irish government doesn't give a damn about young people's minds and doesn't give a damn about making people confused. And, I'm basically telling, I was meeting the other week. I was in the meeting, I know actually last week was the meeting. And we were talking about our local school. We were talking about if the sex actors come into our local school, we tolerated. And they were asking me would I tolerate it. And I said there should be a tiny bit loaned, but this is extreme what they're trying to teach children. It's basically, you know, basically pornography, more or less what I declared it as in the meeting. I said this would not be tolerated by me. It's a small bit of it in sixth class, not what they are suggesting, like unbelievable. Like you wouldn't even teach teenagers this, to be honest. And they're taking of teaching people in fourth and fifth class these kind of things. You're just like, what kind of a brain does the government have? And you just say to yourself, they don't have any brain at all. And one parent had, I admired this parent for telling me, because I knew myself, I was like, if the people with dyslexia or autism, they get it hard to learn maths and English and Irish without having to put this on them and annoy them about this. And there is a situation in our school, in one of the local schools here, that, a child does have autism and is being left behind, and it's being can't understand different things, can't get the grips with different subjects, and it's getting it hard to learn basically in school without any support from the government. He has no support at all from the government. It's going to be dead. It's going to be. He can't barely count, and that's understand. Like I feel very bad for the lad. And I said, no matter what education that comes in, whatever the government's going to force down our throat, I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm going to write. If I have to write, I would write to higher ups. I'm not going to go to the Irish authorities. I'm going to go to the European authorities over it. And I'm going to be like, can this lad be exempt from this Education Act? Because he needs to learn his basic maths and the rest of that. Like, to hell and to back with this Sex Education Act. I'm more caring, I'm more worried about his health and his well-being and his progression in school and all these subjects than worrying about what the government wants to throw down young people's necks. 4 or 5 year olds who doesn't can barely understand stuff in school, and they're just going to force down these young people's necks how to do this and how to do that with your body. I'm not going to tolerate it. Of course I'm not going to tolerate it. In sixth class, as I said to the parents, I understand the concern. Some of them did raise what I raised the last video. The age children grow up too fast. They grow up too fast nowadays, and they need to know. I said that, and I said it's up to the parents. If they feel like the children should know, if they're asking questions. I don't think it's I don't think it's the Department of Education's job to teach them. I think it's a tiny bit. They should teach them a tiny bit in sixth class, as I said, but not too much. Like that was the way I was brought up, kind of. In sixth class, we were taught a bit about it, sex education, obviously. Fair enough. A small bit. It was not much. It was only one class. It was only one class in the whole year. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, fair enough. That's fair enough. But like what they're proposing here is absolute lunacy, and I mean they just say it's lunacy, and I don't really care if the government care less what I think, because I'm saying it straight, and I said it straight in front of nearly 6 or 7, 70 people, 70, nearly 70 people in the meeting about the school. It was the board of management of the school and everything, and I basically said that it's lunacy, and that's what I basically said, and I don't really care what they take in the door because it's lunacy, and I will do whatever I can. For people, people can't understand. People who are feeling left behind in school, they can barely understand English, maths, and I used to be one of them people, and I'm not going to have the government absolutely force this down their throats. And I will find some way. And as I said to the parents, I will find some way. If needs be, I will go to prison for it, and I will start a huge uproar over it. But we see what happens. I suppose you can send that, and if it needs be, I will write it to the higher ups and. The European Union obviously probably won't get any response there, but if we need to take it even higher again, I go to the United Nations Human Rights Council and I say, do something about it. Or I do something about Jews. We should see what happens, because I know a few people that could, sort a few things out in the United Nations Human Rights Council. There's a few people that need to be kicked out of it. Tit for tat, I suppose you could say. But it's lunacy. It's lunacy. This sex education act is lunacy. It's really, really lunacy. I understand, as I said, sixth class, learn a bit about it. 100%. That's okay. An hour in sixth class to learn a tiny bit about it. That's grand. I'm sure everybody can say that's alright. In secondary school, I think it should be second year or something like that. You learn a tiny bit more. Obviously because you've grown up a bit, and you do see that. As I said, it's better than learning at the back of the shed from, a stranger. But it is lunacy that they're teaching kids 5 and 4 year old, and probably even nearly as soon as they get into nappies, they probably start teaching them, about these things. It's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know who came up with this clowning of an idea. Because I understand, we need to educate our young people about this, that, and the other. That's totally understandable. And parents did raise it to me. Times are progressing. We need to inform our children quicker about things and everything like that. And I'm like, 5-year-old children and 4-year-old. When I was 5 and 4-year-old, I could barely understand maths. I could barely do anything. And I said it in the meeting. I could barely, count to 10. And and I'm just thinking of myself, if I was in that situation, I'd be hopeless. I'd be hopeless, completely hopeless. I'd be lost in my head. I wouldn't know where I am. Like, I wouldn't know what's up or what's down, to be honest. And having these big words thrown at you, masturbation, and, absolutely, I can't even describe some of the words that they have proposed the government. It's ridiculous. It's actually just a ridiculous. Like, I understand if it's in secondary school. I don't have much of a problem with it at the end of secondary school, learning a tiny bit about it. Obviously, they probably wouldn't know at that time. But 5-year-old and 4-year-old children, like, let children be children. Good God, don't force it down. Like, I don't see the need. What kind of need is it? As they said, the state have failed me with education. And I've said it many times to the Department of Education. I've said it many times to them. The state failed me. The state failed me in education. Like, I'm hopeless at maths. I'm hopeless at basically all my subjects nearly, apart from history and geography. And, the state has failed me. Because I never got any support because I'm dyslexic. And the state have failed me. And I basically said it so many times to them, they know exactly what I'm going to say. They have failed me. And I'm not going to let, more pressure being put on people with autism and dyslexia who feel like they've been left behind, who don't, like, when I was sitting in class, in different classes in national school, you looked around, everybody else was able to keep up, and I was the last. And, putting this new Sex Education Act, it's going to make them feel even terrible. And I was feeling terrible when I was 5-year-old, because I was looking around at my classmates, and you were just looking and they were going 10 times faster than you, and you could barely even write anything on the page. And we couldn't ask for help because I was afraid to ask for help. And that's what I'm afraid of, and that's why I mentioned that thing about that young lad. And I asked the parent, would I mind using that as a example today, and they said it was totally fine. And I said to them, you don't have to worry about it, don't worry yourself about it, I do something about it when it comes in. When we come to the bridge, we will cross it. And by God, we will get something done about it, because I'm not letting this lie. Anyway, let me know what you think. I know it's a bit, I am getting a bit tick over this, because it's stupid. It's really, really stupid, 5 and 4-year-olds. And then targeting them maybe up, like, when you get to 6th class, time enough, learn a bit in 6th class, then see what it is in secondary school, see what, what we can do in secondary schools. But, but I think it's up to the parents, as I said, it's up to the parents to decide. When I start asking questions, it's up to the parents to educate them a small bit about it, if they ask, as I said to them. But I'm trying to keep, as I said to one of the parents privately, I said I want to keep children innocent as long as possible, because I was innocent for a long, long time. We want the kids to keep children's integrity, innocence, I suppose, as long as we can, humanly can, I suppose you could say. Because we can't ruin their childhood over, seeing these weird videos and just mad, stupid things that the government proposed. And I wouldn't mind, but they should propose. They should, like, the amount of money they're going to spend, hear me out. The amount of money they're going to spend probably on bringing this education, teach children, teach teachers and everything, could build 6 or 7 autism units, could build 6 or 7 dyslexia units in every school in Ireland. And they decide to bring in this crap, to be honest. And that's what it is. I'm not going to lie to anybody. Like, fair enough, parents want their children to learn. Fair enough. It's your education. You're paying for their education, but just boil it down to the parents have to do it. And I don't mean to sound far right or anything for saying this. It's just my opinion, and it's the people's opinion that were in the board of management that I was speaking to. We won't tolerate it. Simple as that. And obviously some parents said they do what their children do, and I said that's fine. That's completely fine. That's up to you. You're paying for the books. You're paying for the, you know, you're paying your wage to the state. That's fine. If you want that, shouldn't be done that. You know, that's totally fine. I don't have anything against them. I didn't argue with them. I said, you know, that's fine. It's your opinion. If you feel like they need it, you know, that's fine. Simple. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Bye.